5 days. I just want you to hold that number in your head for a second.
Just 5 days. It's nothing.
It's nothing. And I'm starting with that because, most of us have this kind of banking logic with food. You go on vacation, you have a rough week, and you just let it all slide.
Mm-hmm. The diet goes out the window.
Totally. You eat the burgers, the snacks, all the ultra-processed stuff, and you tell yourself, okay, maybe I'll gain a pound. I'll just, hit the gym Monday and burn it off.
Right. Back to neutral. It's the standard calories in, calories out safety net we all rely on.
But the research we're diving into today just shreds that entire idea. It suggests the real damage, it isn't about your weight at all, not at first.
Right.
It's that brain changes, specifically insulin resistance in the brain, can kick in after just 5 days of eating this stuff.
And this is the critical part.
It happens long before you see a single extra pound on the scale.
That's the paradigm shift. I mean, we're all conditioned to think, okay, obesity leads to brain issues down the line, right? Cognitive decline, things like that.
Yeah, decades later.
But this data says the brain damage isn't the result. It might actually be the trigger. The brain is the first domino to fall, not the last.
So welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're not talking about bikini bodies or waistlines. We are talking about your gray matter.
We're looking at the biological hijacking that happens with ultra-processed foods, or UPFs.
We've got clinical reports on gut health, neuroscientific studies on addiction, and some, really fascinating data comparing global diets. We're going to get into why the French seem to get away with it.
It's a great question. And our mission today is to basically map out this metabolic neurological loop. We want to get beyond diet culture and really understand the mechanics that make these foods not just fattening, but neurologically damaging.
And addictive.
And highly addictive. They're designed to override your free will.
Okay, I want to go back to that 5 days stat because honestly, that scared the hell out of me. That's from a study out of the University of Tübingen, correct?
That's right. And it was a pivotal study because of who they tested. They took healthy weight people.
No existing issues.
No metabolic issues at all. And they put them on a high-calorie, ultra-processed diet for just that short 5-day window.
And let's be super clear. When we say ultra-processed, we're not talking about like a hearty homemade stew.
Oh, no, absolutely not. We're talking about industrial foods. High sugar, high refined fats, almost no fiber. Your standard convenience diet.
And the results?
Immediate. They saw heightened insulin activity right away in the brain regions that control reward and decision-making.
Okay, you have to unpack that for me. Insulin activity in the brain. I think of insulin as something that manages blood sugar in my body. What's it doing upstairs?
Well, think of insulin in the brain as a modulator for dopamine. It helps regulate the reward signals.
Got it.
But when you flood the system with UPFs, that whole system gets overwhelmed. In just 5 days, the brain starts to become insulin resistant. It just stops hearing the stop signals.
So it's screaming for more.
It's screaming for more sugar and fat almost instantly because it's lost the ability to regulate itself.
And this is while the body, outwardly, hasn't even changed yet.
Not outwardly, but internally, it was chaos. Liver fat went up immediately. And that liver fat correlated directly with those altered brain responses.
Wow.
But here's the kicker, the part that really challenges that I'll just burn it off next week idea. Even after the participants went back to a normal, healthy diet, their reward learning stayed impaired.
Wait a minute. So even after they went back to, like, chicken and broccoli, their brains were still glitching.
They were. They actually became less sensitive to rewards. And the white matter, the cables connecting different brain regions, the integrity was reduced.
So the brain changed faster than the body.
Way faster. It really suggests that obesity is a brain-driven condition. The hardware breaks down before the weight gain ever even happens.
That's a heavy concept. It means by the time you notice your pants are tight, your brain's already been sabotaged.
Exactly. You're trying to fight a battle with willpower, but the organ responsible for willpower has already been compromised.
Okay, so let's talk about the weapon here. The UPF itself, it's a buzzword now, so people kind of tune it out. But what is actually happening? Why is a factory cookie worse than my homemade one, even if the calories are the same?
It comes down to the definition. We use an OVA classification. Group 4 is UPFs. And these aren't just processed like, say, cheese or canned tomatoes.
Okay.
Group 4 are industrial formulations. They have additives, emulsifiers, things you just do not have in your kitchen.
Yeah, I don't have a jar of hydrolyzed soy protein next to the salt.
Precisely. And those ingredients act on the brain using what I call the accelerator and the brake analogy.
Okay, I like analogies. Break it down.
So imagine your drive to eat is a car. The accelerator is your reward system, a part of the brain called the nucleus accumbens.
Right.
The data shows that just seeing a picture of a UPF triggers a 142% stronger response in this region than seeing a whole food.
142%. That's not a nudge, that is a shove.
It's massive. It looks just like substance addiction in the brain. And just like with drugs, you start to downregulate your dopamine receptors.
Meaning you need more to get the same feeling. You build a tolerance.
You build a tolerance. You eat the cookie, but you don't get the satisfaction you expected, so you eat another and another. The accelerator's just stuck to the floor.
Okay, so the car is speeding up, and this is where my brain should be pumping the brakes, right? Saying, hey, I'm full.
And that is the problem. The brake line's been cut. The brake is our dorsolateral prefrontal cortex, the DLPFC. It's the sophisticated part of our brain that handles impulse control.
The adult in the room.
Exactly. And the research shows that in heavy UPF consumers, this part of the brain physically atrophies. It shrinks.
Hang on, shrinks. You're saying these foods shrink the part of my brain that lets me say no?
Yes. The data points to about a 0.8% annual shrinkage.
That sounds small, but I'm guessing it's not.
It's not small when you're talking about neurological tissue. Compound that over 10 years. That's an 8% loss of the gray matter you use for self-control.
So you have a hyperdrive to eat and a shrinking ability to stop.
It's a neurological trap.
It explains why just using willpower feels so impossible. It's not just brain structure, though, is it? The hormones are all scrambled, too. I was reading about leptin and ghrelin.
Oh, it's a complete communication failure, a total breakdown of the feedback loop.
So let's start with leptin. That's the I'm full hormone.
Right. It's released by fat cells, travels to the brain, and says, hey, we've got enough energy stored, you can stop eating now.
Logically, then, someone who's overweight should have tons of leptin and should never feel hungry.
And they do have tons of it, about 3.8 times higher levels.
Mm-hmm.
But the brain isn't listening.
Leptin resistance.
It's leptin resistance. The signal is screaming, but the brain has put in earplugs. It literally thinks it's starving because it can't hear the leptin.
And at the same time, you've got ghrelin, the hunger hormone.
And ghrelin is just running wild. It's supposed to drop after a meal. But in UPF consumers, it stays elevated. One study showed 68% of them had high ghrelin after eating.
Compared to what for whole food eaters?
Just 12%.
That is an absolute nightmare scenario.
Yeah.
Your stomach is full, but your brain is chemically screaming at you that you're in a famine.
That's the perfect way to describe it.
Yeah.
You are fighting a primal biological urge to survive. Your conscious mind is saying, I just ate. But the primitive brain is just screaming, famine, eat now.
And the damage doesn't just stay in the brain, right? The sources talk about a toxic highway, gut, liver, brain.
It's a direct route. And it starts with the microbiome. UPFs are just devastating for your good gut bacteria. They kill them off and let the bad guys, the proteobacteria, take over.
And that leads to leaky gut. I've heard that term, but what is actually happening?
The lining of your gut is supposed to be a really tight barrier, like a brick wall. UPFs weaken the mortar between the bricks.
So things get through.
Things that should never get through. Specifically, something called lipopolysaccharides, or LPS.
LPS, I don't want that in my bloodstream.
You really don't.
Yeah.
They're basically toxic bacterial shells. And when they hit the bloodstream, the body treats it like an infection, and you get massive inflammation.
And the liver is the first stop, so it gets hammered.
It gets flooded. This is why non-alcoholic fatty liver disease is found in 67% of obese individuals. But the liver can't catch it all. The inflammation travels up to the blood-brain barrier.
Fortress.
The fortress. And that systemic inflammation weakens the walls. And once it's inside, it's a disaster.
Yeah.
It particularly targets the hippocampus.
Which is memory and learning.
Exactly. The sources show a direct correlation between these neurotoxins getting in and a reduction in gray matter, impaired spatial learning.
I saw that in the notes. Some researchers are calling Alzheimer's type 3 diabetes now.
It's a compelling idea, that it's fundamentally a metabolic disorder of the brain. There's also a link to multiple sclerosis tied to a 40% drop in a short-chain fatty acid that UPF diets just deplete.
It's terrifying. But it's not just these long-term diseases. It's how we feel right now. The mental health stats were just staggering.
They're hard to ignore. High UPF consumption is linked to a 44% increase in the odds of depression and a 48% increase for anxiety.
Nearly a 50% jump in anxiety. Is that just because feeling sick makes you anxious, or is there a chemical reason?
It's chemical. It goes right back to the insulin resistance we started with.
Okay.
That resistance reduces the availability of an amino acid called tryptophan in the brain.
Tryptophan. That's the thing in turkey that makes you sleepy.
It is, but more importantly, it's the precursor to serotonin, the feel-good neurotransmitter. No tryptophan, no serotonin.
And when your mood crashes?
You eat more UPFs to try and feel better. 67% of obese individuals report loss of control eating when they're stressed.
It's a cruel paradox. You eat the food for a dopamine hit of comfort, but it's biologically stripping away your ability to regulate your mood long term.
It's a vicious cycle. You get more anxious, so you eat more.
The whole system just seems completely rigged. But, okay, there was a glimmer of hope in the data. The French paradox.
Yes, I love this part.
Yeah.
France and Portugal, they have diets high in saturated fats, cheese, butter, all the good stuff.
The stuff we're told to avoid.
And yet, they have way lower UPF consumption and lower obesity rates than the UK or the US.
So it's not just about fat.
It's not. And it's not just the red wine either. The analysis points to the structure of their eating.
You mean, like, sitting at a table?
Pretty much. There's a strict emphasis on communal meals, set meal times, and almost no snacking.
That is a huge cultural difference. We eat at our desks in the car.
Dashboard dining, they call it. And that puts your body in a fight-or-flight state. You can't digest properly. They treat food as a ritual. Plus, there's a cultural rejection of industrial foods.
Right. A real croissant goes stale in a day. A packaged snack cake will outlive all of us.
And that cultural environment, it seems to protect them. It proves that how we eat can be just as important as what we eat.
Okay, so that's hopeful. But most of us don't live in a French village. So for us, let's say the damage is done. Is it permanent? Can we reverse this loop?
The good news is yes. The sources are very clear that this is reversible. And it's faster than you'd think.
How fast are we talking?
Weeks. It takes about 2 weeks to resensitize your taste buds. If you cut out the sugar in UPS, your biology resets, and apple starts tasting sweet again.
2 weeks is manageable. So what should we be focusing on to speed up the repairs?
3 things. First, fiber,
Yeah.
and a lot of it. About 30 grams a day. Oats, garlic, apples.
Why fiber specifically?
Because fiber feeds the good gut bacteria, and when they eat fiber, they produce short-chain fatty acids.
Okay.
And these SCFAs are what actually repair the blood-brain barrier. They're like the new mortar for that leaky wall.
Got it. Fiber patches the leaks. What's number 2?
Omega-3s. About 1 gram a day of EPA and DHA. This is specifically to reduce that neuroinflammation, to put out the fire in the brain.
And number 3?
Intermittent fasting.
Right. Is there a specific protocol the sources mentioned?
Either every other day fasting or just a strict 10-hour eating window. The key here is it reprograms a liver enzyme, HNF4 alpha.
HNF4 alpha?
It's like the liver's master switch. Fasting reboots it, which tells the liver to start burning fat and lowers inflammation across the board.
I love that. Just giving the system a break. Okay, there was one more technique in here that I found. Well, a little funny. The raisin technique.
Ah, yes. It sounds silly, but it is a very powerful mindfulness exercise.
So walk us through it. I just eat a raisin.
You don't just eat it, you interrogate it. You hold one single raisin and you pretend you're an alien who's never seen one before. You look at it, you smell it, you feel its texture.
I'm just picturing someone doing this at their desk at work.
Let them look. Because then you put it on your tongue and you chew it so slowly.
And the point here isn't just to really enjoy the raisin.
No, the point is to force your prefrontal cortex, that brake we talked about, to engage. By slowing down and analyzing, you are overriding the impulsive emotional part of your brain. You're literally retraining it to be present.
It's a manual override for the automatic eating loop.
Exactly. It breaks that cycle.
So to recap, we started with weight. We ended up at brain shrinkage, liver toxicity, and staring at raisins.
It just shows you UPFs are not just food. They are industrial formulations designed to disrupt the communication between your gut and your brain.
They hijack the accelerator, they cut the brakes.
And they flood the whole system with inflammation. And it happens fast. But the hopeful part is that we can reverse it.
So if you want people to remember one thing from this whole deep dive, what is it?
I think it's that we need to stop looking at body fat as just stored energy, like it's a gas tank.
Okay.
We need to start viewing adipose tissue fat as an endocrine organ.
It's not dead weight, it's an active part of our hormonal system.
It is. And if the brain is the metabolic gatekeeper, then the most important tool you have for weight loss isn't a treadmill. It's protecting your brain from inflammation.
Get the brain healthy, and the body will follow.
If your brain is healthy, it can regulate your weight. If it's inflamed, all the willpower in the world isn't going to save you.
Protect the brain to save the body. I like that.
Precisely.
Well, that's all the time we have. I am definitely going to be trying the raisin technique, maybe with a grape, though. Raisins are a bit sad.
A grape works too, just slow down.
Thanks for listening. Go check an ingredients label in your pantry. If you don't recognize something, maybe think twice. We'll catch you on the next one.